Hello friends, I asked you all for questions a little while back so that I could answer them in an Ask Snapchick Q&A video. I got so many questions that I am breaking up all of these questions into a series of videos, which is convenient because I am actually working on a large project right now. So I have made all of these videos in the past from now when you're seeing it. Anyway, that's beside the point. I'll tell you more about that project in coming videos. But today I am answering the question, which gear? And I'm answering it in a lot of different ways because a lot of you asked questions about gear. So let's jump right into it, shall we? The first question is from Greg. Greg from Boston asks, while driving to your morning trail run, you and your camera bag were carjacked, blindfolded, and tossed into a plane. Thanks, Greg, for that imagery. Later, you were pushed out and parachuted onto a desert island containing no natural water supply and only one palm tree. Sounds like a riddle. You have in your bag a Sony Plus 200 to 600 millimeter E-mount and a Leica SL Plus 75 millimeter f1.25. Lucky girl I am. Moments after your landing, an island native approaches you with a single bottle of water. I will give you this bottle of cold water. In exchange, you will give me one of your 2 camera rigs, that person says. Which one would you give up and why? Greg, I don't know. No, I do know. It doesn't matter because if I'm in a life or death situation, I don't care which camera I am giving up. I want the water. So I would gladly give up both if I need to. However, boy, would I have had fun with those 2 setups. Those 2 very heavy setups leading up to this terrible, terrible thing that you've imagined has happened to me. So next question is from Johnny, and he says, I think it's from Johnny. Yeah. He says, you always seem to use the default camera strap. Have you ever thought about getting a different one? It's so funny that you asked this because I recently invested in several new camera straps. They are the Peak Design slide straps. So I have used them or just kind of played around with them a little bit just from some other photographers, and I really liked that you can have the little dongles on attached to the camera, and you can take the rest of the strap on and off quite easily. For me, that's really handy because I a lot of times I'm taking photos of my cameras for videos, so it's just nice to be able to take the bulky part of the strap off. Also, I have found that they are really actually very comfortable to use. So I have the regular slide, which is the kind of wider strap, the slide light, which is a narrower strap, and we also got the wrist strap. Because there's 2 of us, and because this is what we do for a living, I was kind of able to justify just going ahead and getting all 3. You will notice with Raymond and I that we don't do things halfway. If we like something, we tend to go all in. Hence 3 camera straps in like a month. Yeah, and I really like them so far. I know there's other ones out there that are, somewhat similar that other people like, but yeah, I've always used just whatever camera strap came with the camera until now. Sam and Maxine says, which would you suggest for portrait between telephoto lens or prime? Well, you can have a telephoto prime lens. So I think what you mean is a zoom or a prime. Personally, I just love primes. I love them. I'll shoot with whatever I have, but if I can, I'll use a prime. Tomby asks, question, did you ever feel each time you go for an adventure while you're hiking, you say to yourself, why am I holding all this gear and big cameras with me? Oh, like when Greg has me like getting carjacked and in a plane with a whole bunch of stuff? Yeah. At the end, do you start to realize that your mobile phone camera is good enough for an adventure? Do you feel like you don't want the big camera anymore? And yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, why am I carrying this? But sometimes I do go out with just my phone. I have videos where I've just used my phone or like an action camera or something like that. So yeah, sometimes I do just like to use my phone. I just like taking pictures. However, my phone camera is not going to replace my bigger, dedicated cameras. It just won't. Greg says, a different Greg says, I think it might be interesting to hear your camera story. Why did you choose Nikon? What do you like about them? Why do you stay? Good question. I chose Nikon in the beginning because it's just what I liked using the best when I was at the store. We did not have as many options back then. This was many, many years ago. We didn't have as many options, so it was kind of at the time it was Canon or Nikon, and I just liked using the Nikon better. In fact, I still prefer using Nikon over Canon, just because it meshes better with me. I mean, not because one's better than the other, but that's why I started, was really just because it was easier to use for me. What do you like about them? At this point, it's totally just a comfort zone for me. I can use any camera. I have used a whole slew of cameras and camera brands, but Nikon is definitely a comfort zone just because I know their menus. I know where the buttons and dials are going to be. I just know them. I know their terminology inside and out. And why do I stay? At this point, I wouldn't say that I'm totally staying. I'm kind of branching out a little bit more, but I do continue to have Nikon and use Nikon really because it's a comfort zone thing at this point, and I'm kind of happy using anything, but yeah, comfort zone. Next is the Vengeful Vegan says, I've got a basic Nikon D3500, which I love, with 3 standard lenses, which I'm pretty happy with, but is there anything else? A bit more zoom would be nice. So he's got a 35mm f1.8, an 18-55 kit lens, and a 70-300 kit lens. And he says that they all take great photos and he likes them, but more zoom would be nice. Okay, so if you like your gear, I say stick with it. If you don't find that what you have is lacking in any way. If you want more zoom, I mean, there's always the 200 to 500 millimeter f5.6 lens, and I love that lens, and it is relatively inexpensive for what it is. So beyond 300 millimeters, that's kind of the only thing that I would recommend if you're looking for more zoom. And Keith says, hi, this is the last question. Keith says, hi, I've been using the P1000 and really enjoying it. I enjoyed my time with it too. I'm thinking of purchasing a DSLR as I want to expand. What can I do? Expand what I can do. Once, shallower depth of field and more low light performance and such, and quality. And he likes Nikon and wants to stay with the brand. I like to shoot land and seascapes, also street photography. Which Nikon DSLR would you recommend? Which lens? Typically, I recommend sticking with the more entry-level bodies and try out the kit lenses that you are going to purchase with the entry-level body, and then figure out what you want to do from there in terms of lenses, because your lenses will make a bigger difference in your photography than the actual body itself, at least when we're talking about which DSLR are you going to get. So look at the D3000 series, or maybe even the D5000 series, and try them out for a while with if you buy a one kit or one lens kit or a 2 lens kit, try it out for a while and see how it goes, and then you'll be able to branch out from there. Vengeful Vegan that we just discussed has the D3500, and he has, or she, I actually don't know if that's a he or she, has the 35mm f1.8. That's a great lens that for a cropped sensor body, it is actually a DX lens, but it's f1.8. So you get to really kind of dip your toe in having that wider aperture. So that's typically what I would suggest. I can't give you exactly what you should get. I think you should probably try them out in the shop first and see if you like using it. But usually I say spend a little less on the body and then see where you want to go with your lenses. So that's it. Those are all the questions on gear for today. Next time, I have a bunch more videos planned, but I've got questions on being a photographer. I've got personal questions. I've got working with models, being a YouTuber, all sorts of other things too. So make sure that you subscribe and click the bell to get notifications and all those things that everybody says, because it helps support the channel, and that way you'll know when I put out new videos. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for your questions, and I'll talk to you next time.